Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. TikTok has become the new courtroom hallway. Every day someone is crying, lying, screaming, hustling, crashing, getting kicked out, or blaming the government for their whole life falling apart. And the wild part, almost every one of these viral moments has a legal heartbeat underneath it. Today I'm going to teach you how to listen for. So we're breaking down 3 TikTok clips, a car crash, a scam, and some shutdown frustrations. And we're asking one simple question. What's really legal? With that, let's jump in.
I'll tell you, this motherfucker ran the fucking light and hit me. I'm shaking, I'm sorry. My car's totaled. Me and Flo were okay. The airbags came out. Nobody's answering the phone.
Now, you can literally hear the adrenaline in this woman's voice. That's what the law calls an excited utterance. Anytime after something has directly happened like this, and a person calls out and it's being recorded, or if later on they bring her friend to court and they ask her what she said, it's going to be allowed to become a part of the record because people don't usually lie and make up stuff in that moment. All right, this is one of those raw, shaky hand cell phone videos. Nothing's fully processed yet. Let's talk about a couple of laws here. First, negligence per se. What does that mean? All right, if someone runs a red light or a stop sign, it's not just bad driving. It's automatic negligence in most states because they violated clear safety laws. We have a stop sign there for a reason. There's a stoplight there for a reason. Okay, you don't have to argue intent. You just need to prove they ran the red light, or they didn't stop, or they were texting, or they were on the phone, or whatever, or they were taking a sip of something while they were running through the intersection. The act itself tells the story. Let's talk about damages. All right, the driver mentions her car being totaled. You saw the door was completely broken there. The airbags were deployed. The 2 women were okay. That's a blessing in itself. Now, there's several categories of damages that we can talk about here. First, you have the property loss itself. All right. You have the physical impact. All right. So that means somebody might have to go to the hospital, or some paramedics are going to have to come on the scene and check these women out before they're allowed to leave. You also have the emotional distress. Has anyone ever been in one of these bad wrecks like this? Raise your hand. I mean, you might have bad dreams. You might not be able to get in the car right afterwards and drive because of the mental aspects of it. There might be some lost wages because the person can't go directly back to work afterwards. All those can be cognized, and potentially a person can ask for those back if they bring this to court. Now, if they were working DoorDash, Uber, or some kind of gig work where you drive people around and get paid for it, that opens the door to some commercial liability also. And that's why you have insurance when you're doing these types of jobs. One thing that stood out to me as I watched these TikTok videos, and it's definitely a rabbit hole. So I understand what people say now when they're talking about doom scrolling, because you'll see one video and it opens up. Yeah. Anyways, so these videos are just out here as evidence. There's evidence you can gain from these clips, okay? So this TikTok could become evidence in multiple ways. First, you had the excited utterance. All right, these are statements made under stress, and they're often admissible because you don't have time to make up a lie. You also have real-time documentation. You got timestamps. You can see what the weather was like. You can see the physical conditions of the road. All that stuff can be documented. You also have that instinct, the little feel in your gut instinct. Jurors rely on their instincts while they're trying to make these difficult decisions about who should win. When they watch clips like this, if the tremble in a person's voice feels real, people are going to believe it. Human intuition becomes part of the evidence, whether they say it out loud or it's not said at all. All right, remember when we talk about our evidentiary standards, this clip is sitting at the probable cause and the preponderance of the evidence standard. All right, probable cause, that's when the police show up and do an investigation. They determine if someone's going to be liable for something, ticket, whatever. Preponderance of the evidence is where people bring each other to court to sue over damages. All right, let's move into our second clip.
I'm just trying to make money in general to be able to go. Mackenzie, hate you. No, get out now.
I just got a phone call. I just got a phone call from somebody said you was in your room, you was on TikTok, and you said you had to get out by tomorrow.
Go out. Go. Go.
Said you was in
Out.
your room crying.
Out. Go.
I have not told you.
I just told you to go. I just told Mama, go.
I told you.
Go. I told you to leave me alone. Don't.
All right, this one is nuts. It just kind of goes to show when people get caught in real time what people go through, how far they'll go. All right, you have a young man here, and he's in a full performance on TikTok, crying, begging, acting like he's about to be homeless tomorrow. And oh, here comes grandma, or maybe mom, but I'm thinking this is grandma, comes in, and she's like, "What's this I hear about you on TikTok saying you're going to get kicked out tomorrow?" And then we have to get out now so you can get back to that that performance, milking people for ducats. All right, this isn't a child safety issue. This is a TikTok deception. And there's some legal teeth here. Let's talk about what's at play here. Fraud. Now, if viewers were donating and sending money because of this fake story, that's fraud. It's plain and simple. The law doesn't care if the scam happens on the corner or on TikTok. If you're lying to get money, you're committing a crime. Let's talk about a more nuanced one. Defamation against the grandma. All right, so he's publicly making a claim. I'm getting kicked out tomorrow. My grandma is kicking me out. Now, if it's a false claim, as it seems to be here, and the grandma makes it pretty clear, then he's creating a defamatory narrative. There's a false statement. It's being published to an audience. It's causing harm to the grandma because she's had her friends calling her, "Hey," we're just going to call her Betty. "Betty, are you kicking out whatever this guy's name is, Burton?" And it's done with reckless disregard for the truth. He doesn't care what the truth is. The truth is he has a place to stay. He's just fine. He's begging so he can get paid. He can use the money to go do wherever he's doing. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, these aren't just a private whisper. It's a broadcast. It's broadly cast to many people. All right, even further, this one's not really going to be a thing, but look, you got physical aggression toward an elder. He pushes her out of the room. That wasn't really a super hard push, really, but it's disrespectful, but it might qualify as assault or battery or elder abuse, depending on what state you're in. Remember, you really can't remove the homeowner from their own doorway. All right, and remember, once again, TikTok can be used as evidence. This entire event is on video. We got the false claim, we got confrontation, physical act. It looked like grandma was trying to come in there to correct the situation and correct the record to make sure everything was set straight. This is the whole case wrapped up in a bundle. This is even better than most body cam footage. All right, here, I think that the grandma or anyone else could use this video to prove, probably to clear and convincing evidence that this guy is defrauding people or that he defrauded a person. All right, let's move into our third clip here. This is the third and final one.
First off, I don't like coming on here. I don't like coming on TikTok because I don't like the way I sound and I don't like the way I look on video. But that being said, this government shutdown is pathetic. The people that are being affected are being forgotten. We are coming up on our third missed paycheck. Like, I want you to really think about that. How long and how many paychecks would it be before you get behind? I laugh because there's nothing we can do about it. Like, there's people you can call up and bitch and gripe to, which does nothing. Nobody cares. Your local government, your state government, they don't care. They act like they care, but they don't care. They just get on TV and posture and like, oh, well, oh, we can't have people starving and we can't have people going without food. And, I voted to open the government. I voted to open the government. I did. Every single time. I don't care. I don't care. Your whole job is literally to run the government.
Now, this one hits home. I have family members that are federal workers. We have a person here. You can hear the exhaustion in her voice. The idea of someone having to work and not be paid while there are politicians out here on both sides pandering. They're being paid this whole time. They have not missed a check. It does really, it sort of hits different. All right, but let's talk about some of the laws that are at play, some of the issues. All right, first, federal workers and the shutdown itself. So during the shutdown, federal agencies, they can't spend money without congressional approval. So that's paychecks. And that means even those paychecks for those essential workers, TSA being a major one when you talk about airports and travel. So great thing, it's been solved. And I think everyone will be paid by next Wednesday, which is November 19th. This is the reason why airports are acting crazy right now. All right, so let's talk about back pay. Yes, by law, workers eventually get their back pay. Bad thing is you really can't eat based on eventually. You really eat based on what you have in your hand right now. So the law allows the harm and fixes later, and it really calls all of that a balanced equation. Let's talk about some of these delays and safety issues. Now, if staffing under the FAA is unsafe, FAA must reduce the number of flights. So if we talk about a shutdown where people have missed 3 paychecks, people aren't going to come to work. They're going to be fatigued. They're going to be sick. It's going to cause cancellations in those flights. It's going to cause delays when there's not enough people to man all these different things that need to happen with these planes. And eventually, as a big system, it's going to cause a big meltdown. But anyways, I think the major point here is it's amazing that we pay people to run the system, yet they don't want to run the system. I don't care what side someone's on. Run the system. Okay, let's do a full rundown of the evidentiary ladder. We'll start from the lowest and work our way up to the highest. So starting at the lowest, we have mere suspicion. Now this is simply when the government or the police have a hunch. It's when something feels off, but they don't have any real evidence that they can point to, and the government or the police can't take any action at this level. Now if we move up one more level, we have reasonable suspicion. Now at this level, the government has articulable facts they can point to, and there's a high belief that there's some criminal activity afoot. Remember the young man scamming on TikTok. Moving up one more level, we have probable cause. Now, probable cause is an important one. At this level, the government is going to arrest someone. This is when the government has enough evidence to act, to make an arrest, or to go back and ask for a search warrant. Moving up one more level, we have preponderance of the evidence. Now, at this level, this is where someone's being brought to court, being sued civilly. All it takes is 51% of the evidence on either person's side to win. The standard means more likely than not, the claim is true. Moving up one more level, we have clear and convincing evidence. This is when we have a strong belief, or it's highly probable our claim is true. This level is only required when you need to show more receipts in order to prove your point. It's really required in many fraud cases. So going back to the young man on TikTok trying to defraud people, trying to get people to send money to some scam, this type of case will go to this level if you're one of the people who had sent him money and you need to sue him to get it back. Sometimes on this internet stuff, people send people large sums of money, 50s, hundreds, sometimes even $1,000 at a time. It's crazy. All right, finally, beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, this is the criminal standard. It's required in every criminal case. This level, it usually takes somewhere between 90 and 95% certainty in order for the government to convict a person. The car crash at the very beginning, somebody running a red light or a stop sign and causing a crash. That'd be a perfect example. Every clip today we saw, it lives somewhere on this ladder. All right, so what did we learn today? Well, first, I think a car crash, it speaks for itself sometimes, right? Now, the TikTok lies, they unravel fast when the truth walks into the room, and, shutdowns, they hit real people long before they hit the cable news. If you noticed you had some gut instincts when watching these videos, then sometimes you have to trust that. The law trusts instincts more than you think. Like, share, subscribe. I'm back. I missed you guys. Gone for a couple weeks there, just relaxing, seeing what the world is doing. But we have a new venue now. We got our TikTok. You can send me some videos over there. You can always send me videos to the email. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy. I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone have a great day. Be safe out there.
Subscribe to Advocacy Alchemy.